Good morning, everybody. I'm going to the Shady Glen, which is a restaurant in Manchester, Connecticut, and it's not that far from Hartford. And I actually am really excited for this place because, it's a Hamburger America recommendation, and they also have something called the Bernese Special. And the Bernese Special is a burger where they have 4 slices of cheese on it. But what they do is that they take each slice of cheese and they have the corners hang out. So therefore, they can take those cheese slices that are hanging out and make it into the shape of a crown. And a couple interesting things about this restaurant was that it was started in 1948, and they started as like an ice cream chain, and they started to say to themselves, you know what, we don't want ice cream, we want to make business all year round. We want to do sales all years round, so we can't have something seasonal like ice cream. Let's work on a food menu and a sandwich menu. And they started to do burgers, and then they came up with the Bernese Original just based on experimenting. One thing that I do not like about this place, after doing a bunch of research, is that they're cash only. Yes, they have an ATM, but definitely, while it's a blast of the past, you got to get to, 2026 really. And also too, it's very, very far from New Haven, Connecticut, where I live. So this is another one of those, rides that's going to be close to $100 for me, So definitely when I go there, I hope everything is worth it for me. And, the signature items of this place is obviously, the burgers and the ice cream. I've also heard that hot dogs are done well and French fries are done well. So there's a lot of things that I definitely want to try out. When I went to the Shady Glen, I was definitely very, very hungry. So I decided to order the Bernese burger, a hot dog, the fries, an ice cream sundae, and I also ordered a slice of apple pie. And I really just heard a lot of really great things about this restaurant. They do a lot of different food items very, very well. So it doesn't make sense just to get the burger. It makes sense to try other things on the menu as well. So for the Bernese burger, I would say that it was very anticlimactic to me. Visually, it stands out. But the problem is that when you bite into the burger, you taste mostly cheese and melted cheese. So it's almost like, what I've said about good burgers. Like good burgers, you taste the burger patty a lot. And all the other things you add onto it really adds to the burger patty. But the problem is that there's so much melted cheese on it that when you bite into it, all you're getting is melted cheese. And then the other part of it is that when I was finishing the burger, I was tasting a lot of bread. I feel like this would work as a double burger or triple burger. Definitely it's not a fail to me, but it's definitely something that I feel like, they need to make the burger patty at least double its size or triple its size, or they need to make this a double cheeseburger or a triple cheeseburger option, and I think that it'll be off to the races. It'll be awesome then. The mound of French fries, I actually liked it a lot. It was very, very appealing. It reminds me of Cincinnati chili, which is a plate of spaghetti, a plate of chili, and then just this large mound of shredded cheese. So I really got that feeling when I saw this really small bowl and this mound of French fries on top of it. It was definitely very appealing. But when I had some of the French fries, I was kind of saying there's nothing that really appeals to me. It's just regular French fries. It's just not super salty or super greasy, really. Maybe they can experiment with that a little bit more, try to make something very distinctive. And then also, I got myself a hot dog, and I really like how it was split in the middle, so it's almost like a semicircle. So they had 4, it was one hot dog split into 2 or 4 different parts. And then when I ate it, it felt like a sandwich because it was all spread out a little bit. And I really, really enjoyed it. It had a nice buttery taste, and they also just, toasted the buns really. So it was good, but it was just felt more like a regular hot dog. What really stood out to me was the butter crunch ice cream. And if you ever had a Butterfingers, it tasted like that with a strong vanilla taste. And I also had butterscotch on top of it. So the butterscotch syrup was actually really, really good. It had a nice caramel taste, nice buttery taste, a nice salty taste. Like, it felt like nothing was really overpowering. And I also, when I ate the butter crunch ice cream, it had a hint of vanilla in it. So it wasn't almost like a Baskin Robbins or Hershey's ice cream where it's almost like a very saturated flavor of what you're getting, really. I think like a bit of a vanilla flavor kind of breaks up a really, really strong, overwhelming butter crunch or butterscotch flavor, really. So I really felt it was very balanced. They know how to do their ice cream very well. They actually have orange pineapple ice cream. I would like to try that. That'd be a little exotic. And then I also ordered apple pie. It was just, regular apple pie. I appreciate it not being overly saturated, because if you get like an apple pie from McDonald's, it's overly saturated with like a brown sugar taste. This one, they had lots of apples in it. I appreciate them heating it up in the microwave just because, hot apple pie tastes way better than cold apple pie. And it reminded me of like apple pie that, my grandmother would serve or my dad would serve or make during Thanksgiving. So a lot of nostalgic feels. Also too, like all this cost me like $33. I would have gone to some restaurants. If I ordered this at some restaurants, it would be like close to $50 or $60. As a George Mott Hamburger America recommendation, I would say that really the Bernice burger to me is kind of anticlimactic. It's definitely a little overwhelmed with cheese, really. So I really don't look at this as a very distinct burger place. I look at this more as, a family restaurant. And I think that the other items you order with it makes it something that I would love to come back to. I would love to come back to this restaurant and try out the breakfast menu. And then also, another thing that I really like about the restaurant is that they had really great customer service, and they also said too, hey, we make burgers all day, really. There's a lot of places that say no burgers until lunchtime. So I was happy to come in at 10:30 a.m. after working 14 hours and get a burger instead of waiting, a little bit longer. So overall, I would say that it's a really great restaurant. They have really great foods, but the Bernice burger is something that's passable to me. It doesn't, it's not even in my top 10, top 20, maybe like top 30 or 40, but I go to a lot of really great burger places, so there is a lot of competition.